quarterback block, and that's
the guy that throws his body
Mike Drop Sports. Steel City Live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. We appreciate you for diving in here with us on a Monday as we are rolling through here. Looks like the chat is full. We appreciate that. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe if you're not already. Don't forget that hype button. And definitely, again, we appreciate you and value your comments here on a Monday as the Pittsburgh Steelers take a little bit of a chokehold on the AFC North here, really needing one more game to secure that AFC North crown with 2 games remaining, one against the Cleveland Browns, one against the Baltimore Ravens, as Baltimore falls last night to the New England Patriots, as the Patriots definitely continue to roll here. And I was watching that game last night, and I see weaknesses there. I see the Patriots aren't a perfect product either, but I don't think any team is. And I definitely think the Steelers match up well against them. We saw them beat them earlier in the season, but I do believe the Steelers match up pretty well against the New England Patriots when watching that game. And I do believe that they can dominate the Baltimore Ravens again in Week 18 if need be. Hopefully, the Pittsburgh Steelers go out there and get this W against the Cleveland Browns and end this shit and end it now. That's got to be the theme for the week for Mike Tomlin. End it now. End this bullshit now in what has been a very up and down, crazy season here so far for the AFC North and for the entire NFL for that matter. But you saw the Buffalo Bills barely squeak out a victory against those Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders at the helm for the Cleveland Browns. And I see an improving football team in Cleveland, but I still think the Steelers outmatch them in several ways, and I think the Steelers can continue to win and stay hot here. And I think winning out the rest of these games, every game has to be a playoff game, even if Week 18 doesn't mean a ton. I think it should mean something for the Steelers in terms of just going out as a winner, going out with a 5-game win streak. That's what's at stake, and the momentum that can give the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into the playoffs I think is absolutely invaluable to the team. And I think it is something that this team has to have. I don't think you go out there and lay an egg in Week 18 if it doesn't matter. I think you go out there and you continue to try to win. I think you go out there and you continue to try to dominate. Injuries happen. It is what it is. It's football, and it would be like that any other week. So why even waste your time? Go out there and just continue this theme of winning, this progression, this steady consistency that we're starting to see get built in some areas. Still not a perfect product, still a lot that can be done. And we're going to dive into all that, and we're going to talk about why in the world did DK Metcalf do something so stupid, costing his team perhaps in the biggest moment of the season, in the most important stretch of the season right now. DK Metcalf making a bonehead move. We'll talk about that and get your comments and much, much more here on the channel tonight. Electro, what's he say? Cowboys fan here. Where are you at? I told you the Bears would win. Yeah, they won. Everybody, guys, the NFL this year, you really can't hang your hat on much in terms of saying, I told you this was going to happen because nobody's been right all the time in the NFL season this year. You just haven't been. Nobody has. And they won. And it seems like a crazy theme each and every week how different teams can win and different teams can pull things out and do some things. I still think the Bears have many, many flaws too. I don't see a perfect product out there. I don't see a product in which I look at a football team and I say, that team can win a Super Bowl right now, hands down. I don't see that team. I know there's some teams with good records, but I see teams that are all beatable. There isn't a team that could go into any building. I'm talking NFC. I'm talking AFC. There isn't a team that, if you're a fan of a certain playoff team, that you would be saying to yourself, they can't beat them. There is no team like that. There is no juggernaut, in my opinion, this year. I think all teams are beatable. I think the competition level is so tight this year that it's definitely going to be a wild playoffs, man. No doubt about it. Big Tom Ford in the house. What's up, Tom? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Gesture Prods in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you. My Floyd is Pink 79 in the house. Good to see you, man. He just got suspended for 2 games. Ah, man. And that was when I was probably getting the show going here, and I didn't see it. So if that to be true, guys, what My Floyd is Pink is 79 is saying, if that's been confirmed by the National Football League and that's what they put out, that's a tough road to follow here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as he is their number one target. And now you better thank your lucky stars more than ever that you added Adam Thielen and MVS, because I think their experience is going to be much needed. That veteran presence in that room is going to be much needed. And just when the Steelers were getting on a roll, DK Metcalf fucks things up for the Pittsburgh Steelers because he's a selfish idiot. And I don't care if you had trouble with this fan before when you were with Seattle. You don't do these things. You're a $33 million a year wide receiver. You are in the limelight. You know every camera in that building is on you, and yet you can't control your temper. That shows a lot to me, and I don't like it. And it shows me a lot about your character, and that's a very sad thing, man. I'd be so pissed if I was if I was a Lions fan about that final play. But Amon St. Brown did push off on Jalen Ramsey to create more separation. A penalty is a penalty. People can be pissed all they want, Tom. Rules are rules, and the Steelers have been in the position on the wrong side of those rules many times. So I'm not pissed. As a Steelers fan, I don't care, in my opinion. Rules are rules. The Steelers have been on the wrong end of that so many times I can't count. And you win some, you lose some. So to be pissed about it for them, they have every right. I agree with you. They have every right in the world to be pissed, but the rules are the rules, and if they don't like it, they can take it to the committee and change those rules. But pass interference is pass interference. Again, we've seen many times where the Steelers have been screwed on things, and I always say when those things happen, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But yet, what can you do? You win some and you lose some. Tom also says, if the Steelers can keep it up the way they played the Lions, they'll do fine without DK Metcalf for the next few games. Yeah, but here's the thing about DK Metcalf. You know what? You're going to cost your team a potential playoff berth here. I mean, you could. I mean, in reality, you could. So DK hosed this fucking ball club. First week of the playoffs, when he comes back, he better be a man-child out there and go out and tee off on people and really look good because he owes it to this ball club for his inability to control his temper as an adult. Tom Ford says Scotty Miller didn't look bad. The Steelers should use him more often. Yeah, Scotty's one of those guys, though, that is the same as a lot of those guys in that room. They're situational guys, and DK was the guy that you had the steady presence with. But, man, I think they'll be just fine, too. Maybe Scotty can pull some things out here and get them through, or somebody in that room step up and become that number one. Jalen Warren suffered an ankle injury. Do you know his status? I think he'll be okay. There was a lot of little nicks and bumps and bruises, and that always happens. You have Calvin Austin with the hamstring. Now DK with the suspension. You saw what bringing back a guy like Derek Harmon. I said that a million times. So you see what some of the additions have an effect on when they come back into the lineup. Yeah, losing guys sucks, but it's got to be depth, and next man up. It has to be the theme here for the Steelers. And every team has been beaten, battered, and bruised. You look at the Detroit Lions last night. They were beat up too, and there isn't many healthy football teams right now. But definitely, we'll see what happens, man. But I don't think Jalen will be a problem. I think he was looking pretty good still throughout that game. So I really don't have any real trouble with Jalen. I also believe the Steelers will win their first playoff game in 9 years. I hope, man. Yeah, maybe that was it, Tom. Maybe they should have started chanting fire Tomlin sooner. Daniel Warman in the house. What's up, Daniel? Hey, Jason, this sounds like the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph. He called me the N-word. There's no excuse for putting your hands on a fan. I hope the NFL gets to the truth. Yeah, I do too. Now, here's the flip side to it when Daniel brings that up. And I'll say this, and I'll be the first one to say it. And you don't say nasty shit to anybody, fan or not, player, fan, nobody. You don't say nasty shit, man. And I get pissed off when people do that dumb shit because it's just not needed, man. It's not needed. And we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. There's other ways you can get on somebody without using nasty, horrible things, you know. And I don't agree with people of the same race calling each other derogatory things either. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to hear it's a term of endearment. Bullshit. It's stupid. It's nasty. You shouldn't say it. Nobody should say nasty things to each other. Everybody should have respect enough for each other that you don't say nasty shit to each other. And that's just the way it should be. That's my thoughts on life. I think everybody should love one another, care for one another, and if you don't like somebody, you just stay and fuck away from them. You don't say shit to them at all. That's how the world should work, but that's not how it's gonna work. And I understand that. Extra Black in the house. What's up, man? He says, with CA3 injury as well as the current situation with Metcalf, the Steelers will definitely look to sign someone ASAP. Alan Lazard, as depending on how bad Brandon Eccles' groin is, they may sign a DB. Yeah, and that's that time of year, Extra Black. Just like I was saying, injuries are going to be around, and you're going to have to figure out a way to navigate those muddy waters. And then DK Metcalf throwing the wrench into it, throwing the oddball into it. So they're going to have to figure it out as they would at any other time. But, some situations are a little bit tougher than others. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I told you guys yesterday, if the Steelers did make another move, bringing in a guy like maybe an Alan Lazard. I think there may be other people out there that they look at. But you'll see how this all goes. And maybe there's somebody out there floating around that we're just not thinking of that maybe the Steelers can gobble up that can come in and actually maybe produce a little bit. Let's keep going. If the Ravens lose Saturday, I hope the Pittsburgh Steelers don't lighten up while playing the Browns on Sunday. I agree, Tom. They got to go full throttle here. This is not that time to go and just, be weird. Where is who? Where is he? I'm not sure who you're talking about. What's up, Ali? How are you, man? Good to see you, brother. Do you think not having DK in the game will be hard, or do you think the players like Adam Thielen and Johnny Smith? I'm not sure who you mean by Smith and Johnu Smith and Roman Wilson will help. I think they're going to have to lean on tight ends. I think they'll have to bring up a guy like Roman Wilson without a doubt. But I think they'll be okay. I think they can manage it for a couple games. I'm glad it's only a couple games. But I think DK's real problem is going to be he's going to lose a lawsuit, and he's going to lose in a big way. Let's go over some of that real quick. Did I bring that up? No, I didn't bring that up with DK Metcalf, but I will talk about the AFC North standings right now. Currently, let's dive into that. 9-6, the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, a 5-3 home record as a 9-6 football team. So that means what, guys? They have lost 3 games on the road also. So they've lost 3 at home, 3 on the road. So the Steelers team has a chance to get into the double-digit win totals. But if you look at the AFC North right now in totality, you say to yourself, how in the hell did this division get there? 7-8 for the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals 5-10, the Browns 3-12. We know how the shit stains get to where they're at because they're just bad. The Bengals losing their quarterback, it hurts. Not having a defense, it hurts. Yeah, but they have that franchise quarterback, and you ask, man, how did that happen? But there the Bengals sit at 5-10, and the Ravens, they've been doing Ravens type shit, man. They've been dealing with injuries to Lamar Jackson. They've been dealing with injuries, pretty much everywhere throughout this season also. So, you see a Ravens team that took a big, giant skid in the beginning and have never fully been able to recover. And I think one more game and they will be up out of the so yeah, that's how that goes. Let me see what this is, guys. I mislabeled it. I must have put 2 AFC North things in there. Yeah, sorry, guys. I downloaded the same thing twice, so I wanted to check what it was. But yesterday, guys, there it is, a 29-24 victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, 27 of 41 for 266 yards, a touchdown, a 92% passer rating. He was sacked 2 times yesterday, but that was Aaron Rodgers and his stat line yesterday. I thought he played really, really well in terms of, people always say we need more than a game manager. No, you don't. What Aaron Rodgers, you want to call him a game manager, that's all you're looking for in NFL quarterbacks. That's what you are looking for in an NFL quarterback is a game manager. And I don't know when people say we need more than a game manager. No, you have more than a game manager. Sometimes that quarterback's trying to do far too much. And what's that do for you? It gets you in trouble. It causes turnovers, causes quarterbacks to not be able to process well. Why? Because they're out there trying to force the football into places they shouldn't. You want a player that's like that, where they are managing the game correctly, checking in and out of pass plays when need be. Understanding that their statistics aren't the end all be all for the game. They want to be able to manage that game in order to put their football team in the best position possible to win. And that's exactly what you're looking for here, guys. Let's talk about the AFC playoff picture right now, guys. Let's talk about this right now on the bubble here, 8 and 9. Colts, Ravens. I think the Ravens are out of it. If you ask me, I feel like they're dead in the water. I feel like the Colts are pretty much dead in the water, too. But you look at the Texans, they are the 7. The Bills, the 6. That's right now as it sits. If the season were to end today, you look at the Buffalo Bills, definitely a team that you ask how they got there. They got Josh Allen. They should be the front runner in the division, but they have not been able to get there this season. But as of right now, that's what's got going on for the Buffalo Bills. And let's check in. Let's go through the 1 through 5 here right now in the top of the AFC playoff picture. I know it says in the hunt, but that's just how these playoff pictures are designed. But we know right now, if the season were to end today, the Steelers would be the 4 seed in the AFC conference playoffs, followed by the Chargers in the 5 seed. Right now, the Jaguars, a surging Jaguars team, and the 3 seed. But definitely beat the Broncos yesterday, so they have the potential to move up and gain some seeding. So some of these games are going to matter, even at the top of this playoff picture with the Broncos, with the Patriots. But right now, Broncos number 1 seed, Pats the number 2 seed, and they are a 12-3 football team. They are first in the AFC East. You have the Broncos, a 12-3 football team. First in the AFC West, Steelers leading the AFC North, and the Jaguars, the AFC South divisional leader right now. So that's the playoff picture as we roll through here. But has Mike Tomlin figured it out here as of late? Has he figured out how this team doesn't slide, or how to prevent this team from sliding in December into January? Has Coach Tomlin figured that kind of thing out? I think right now he looks like he has a little bit. And I think he got to continue what he's doing. Keep his foot on the gas. Keep things going. Because there is nobody in that bracket that you say to yourself right now, oh, they can't be beat. There are no Kansas City Chiefs of the recent years to where you say, man, I don't want to go there and play football. I don't care about going to Denver. I'm not scared of Bo Nix. I'm not scared of Denver. I'm not scared of Drake May and the New England Patriots. I'm not scared to go to Buffalo. They can be beat. The Steelers were beating them until the second half and then got blown up. But that was a Steelers self-inflicted wound. I wouldn't call that a Buffalo blowout of the Steelers. I'd call that the Steelers sabotaging the Steelers. That's what I would call that. But you look at what Mike Tomlin's been able to do here as of late, and you got to give him a little bit of credit right now, guys. So we'll give Coach Tomlin his flowers here right now, but that's just kind of what's going on. But can Mike keep this up? Can he not go back into that shell that we see sometimes where he becomes ultra conservative? What's up, Big JD in the house? Good to see you, JD. All right, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that hype button. Make sure if you are not subscribed, We want to know, what the hell are you waiting for? Join the community. We are almost to 4,800 subscribers. Let's get there before the end of the week. We need about 60, 70 more subscribers right now. Let's get those subscribers. Let's get to 4,800. Let's light things up a little bit and continue to roll. And I appreciate you guys for all the super chats you've given, all the likes you've given, all the memberships you've given. I appreciate all of that. You guys are absolutely awesome. All the comments, you guys are kicking ass, man. Robert Road, as long as they have DK for the postseason, they will be okay. Aaron will spread the ball around and lead them to victory. I got to say this, Robert, when you talk about that spreading the ball around, I thought that was what Aaron Rodgers did best yesterday. 9 different receivers for Aaron Rodgers yesterday that touched the football in the pass game. And I got to say, I need to see more of that. And I think Robert's right. As long as they spread the football around and continue to do those things in terms of being good at distributing the ball to other players, I think they'll definitely shine. I love the misdirection running. I think it's putting teams on their toes. I think the teams have to come out of that too high cover, that too high shell coverage that they play a lot against the Steelers now, because they got to come down and respect some of that run. They can't quite play that too high shell all the time to cause Aaron Rodgers the fits that they've caused him so far this season. I think definitely the Steelers offense and its growth has started to change things in the way teams approach them defensively. They can't load up in one particular way, and they got to keep it going in that direction, because that is what is causing this football team to have success offensively and be able to match scores and be able to, keep up with some of these offensive football teams. Danny George in the house, what's up? Danny George celebrating 18 months as a Mic Drop Mafia member. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend, for being a continued supporter of the channel. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Make sure you guys check out Daniel. Good to see you, man. Make sure you give him a like and share and all that good stuff over at his channel. Good to see you, Daniel. Gesture Prods in the house. DK should appeal and try to be back for week 18. I think that's what would happen if it's an appealable thing, guys. So there's different types of suspensions, different types of things that the league hands down with certain different stipulations. So if this is something that is able to be appealed and he could get that going, once the appeal process takes place, the punishment, I think, becomes null and void, and then you wait for the appeal process. I think that's what he should do also, and try to be available. But what happens if that, appeal takes place during the playoffs, and then they still render that suspension, and then all of a sudden you're lost for a couple weeks in the playoffs, and that would not be something that you want to see. Daniel Warman, I wasn't a fan of Omar Khan or Aaron Rodgers. However, I obviously was wrong. What a great job going out and getting the playmakers. Go Steelers. Yeah, I still think they've been flawed, no doubt about it. I think that there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I think one thing that it's taught us this season as Steeler fans, and I think one thing that it's taught this football team this season, is how to endure bad times, how to be able to endure the lows. I think that that's the biggest thing that this season, I think, has taught this football team, filled with veterans. There's some young players. I think there's a mix of players that, haven't been to the playoffs, haven't had deep runs in the playoffs. Then I think there are some players, that they do. Well, I don't think, I know there are players that have playoff experience, Super Bowl wins, things like of that nature, to pour into that locker room, to where they're teaching each other how to handle the lows, how to fight out of positions that are unfavorable for them. And I think that has been the biggest thing and the biggest lessons learned so far. And I think those are the most valuable lessons to take into the playoffs, because sometimes you take the Patriots, you take the Broncos, young football teams that are led by young quarterbacks that have endured great success this season, and or had great success this season, and have never really had to deal with the adversity so far throughout 2025. They've been on kind of a roll. Man, how do they handle that adversity late in the fourth quarter in the AFC Conference Championship? How do they handle that adversity in round two of the AFC Conference playoffs? And a team's coming into their building and they're pushing them around and they're figuring out how to score, how to stop their offense. They got a good game plan. Can those young teams be able to endure those types of situations? Have they learned those lessons so far throughout their NFL careers, throughout 2025? Because, yeah, guys have endured certain things throughout their NFL careers. They've had highs, they've had lows, and maybe they personally have figured it out. But football teams together have to figure these types of things out. And that's why I say right now the Pittsburgh Steelers are a strong football team heading into the playoffs. Why? Because they've dealt with the adversity, they've dealt with the injuries, they've dealt with so many different things that it's definitely something to lean on as you head into the wild card round. And you're going to have somebody in your building that could potentially put you on the ropes. But can you battle back and figure things out and be able to keep pace long enough during the ball game that you could set Chris Boswell up at the end and be able to get you out of that stadium and get you a win? And guys, it doesn't have to look pretty anymore. Pretty don't matter. I don't care about pretty. I don't care about stats. I don't care about any of that at this juncture of the season. I care about W's. That's all I want to see right now as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Devin Burkhead in the house. What's up? 2-game suspension. Just another way for the league to cater to the Ratbirds, desperate for anything to keep the Ratbirds season alive. Yeah, I mean, I think that sometimes too, man. I do too, Devin. I agree with you at times, and then sometimes I think to myself, well, they could have did it last night, and the Patriots could have lost, and the Ratbirds would have been 8-7, instead of 7-8, and very much alive going into Week 17. But that didn't happen. Grant says now without DK for the next 2 weeks, beating the Browns and or Baltimore losing to the Packers is pretty significant. Ideally, I'd love to see a solid W versus the Browns, then rest up in Week 18. Good to see you, Grant. I agree with everything about. Yeah, we need that loss against the Packers, and I think that is a very good potential of that happening because the Packers need to win too. They need to continue to move toward the playoffs. But you look at Week 18, and I don't think that resting players is a great idea. I think it would be the biggest mistake Mike Tomlin has ever made in his entire coaching career by allowing players to rest in Week 18. I think you've got to keep this thing going. I don't think that there's any way possible for the Pittsburgh Steelers to go in and take a week off and come back out and think that they're going to continue to build. This thing just started becoming cohesive in terms of things clicking and feeding off of each other, offense, defense, special teams, feeding off of each other, being able to pick each other up when one unit makes a mistake, that other team or that other unit picks that other unit up that made that mistake. This team just started doing some of those things. They haven't been perfect yet with it, but man, you don't want to disrupt that, in my opinion. And I'd almost rather hope that the Ratbirds still have an opportunity in Week 18, just so the Steelers have to play and have to continue this moving forward. All right, guys, like, share, and subscribe here on Steel City Live, only on Mike Drop Sports. We appreciate it. Let's keep going. Tom Ford. A lot of people I see online was saying that Tomlin didn't care about the fans chanting "Fire Tomlin." But then why did the team get better after the fact? When people say that guys like Mike or players or coaches, whatever, that they don't care when they hear those chants, they're off base because they're human. They're gonna care. They hear it, guys. They hear it. They read what's being wrote. They see what's being talked about on TV. They hear everything. They hear these shows. Believe it or not, they listen to this shit. They may say they tune out the outside noise, but they see and hear the narratives. They hear this shit. And any player out there that ever stumbles across Mike Drop Sports, we're trying to be truthful here, man, and we'll tell you when it sucks. And if you got an ear to Mike Tomlin and Mike Tomlin ever hears it, don't take your foot off the gas, Mike. You got to be unpredictable. You got to continue to grow. Don't be the same old Mike Tomlin. Continue to do what you're doing. Be aggressive on fourth down. Be aggressive on third down. Do things that are different. I like the misdirection. I like the passing game into the middle of the field. I like the things that are different, that are un-Mike Tomlin like. That's what I want to see. Let's keep going. Windog551. Just feed the ball to Warren and Gainwell and throw screens behind Mount Washington. Yeah, if it were just so easy, no doubt. I think you got to continue to do what the Steelers are doing. Mix it up, doing different things, and that opens things up for guys like Warren and Gainwell, who've been absolutely special here as of late. Jaylen Warren's performance: 145 yards, I believe, on the ground, 2 touchdowns. 2 45-yard runs. I believe that's what he had yesterday. But definitely I can bring it up. I did have his stats and stuff yesterday. I would have to find them though. I believe these are it. Let's try to do that. Yeah, rushing yards right here, guys. Yesterday, Jaylen Warren, 14 carries, 143 yards, averaging 10 yards per carry. 2 carries that were 45 yards, both for scores. That amassed for 90 of his rushing yards throughout that game. So let that sink in, guys. Only 53 yards were throughout the rest of the ball game. 2 carries amounted for 90 yards of his production, but they were so meaningful, guys. And that's the thing that you want to see when you're talking about the Steelers and you're talking about that run game. Kenneth Warren or Kenny Gainwell pitching in with that big catch, that big 50 yards that he chipped in on the ground. 18 yards being his long yesterday in a moment that they needed it. And that's what you got to say is special right now about these running backs. They're coming up on in moments that you absolutely need this shit. You need a touchdown. You need a big play. You need to move the chains. You're in a tough situation. And all Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are doing are coming up for the Steelers in those moments. How about that big catch by Adam Thielen? Catching it slightly behind the chains, but able to run that route and flatten that route enough that he was going to be able to get enough separation to gain a few yards after the catch. That was a veteran move, guys. Some younger receivers may not understand that, yeah, the route doesn't call me to go short of the chains, but knowing how the defense was covering me, understanding the coverage, and knowing that I had to flatten that route out in that situation, and Aaron Rodgers understanding that that receiver was going to flatten that out, hopefully a little bit to be able to complete that pass and catch, and complete that few yards that you're going to need of being able to run the football yards after the catch. So definitely really, really big moments that the Steelers have been having from some of these players, and it's been a real blessing here as of late. And this has been complete team effort, man. I got to say, defense has been playing really, really well. Derek Harmon coming back, I think, has ignited the run defense, no doubt about it, getting to play in his hometown and things of that nature. I just think the Steelers defense has played really well. Alex Highsmith's play has been really good as of late. DK is going to appeal. He also claims the Lions fan made a racial slur. Yeah, we were talking about that, Challenger. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it's just crazy, the situation. It should have never happened. DK's totally at fault. Justin Menike, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. But guys, DK is at fault. DK had no fucking business being over there. People are going to say things to you. We live in a nasty world. You have to be man enough to ignore some of that. And I get it. I disagree with anything nasty that's said, especially a racial slur. It has no place in our world. None. Zero. And yeah, it just drives you bonkers, man, that some of these things go on. Gainwell and Warren, the breadwinners, and Freiermuth. Yeah, Freiermuth, guys, I got to say this about Pat Freiermuth. A weapon that's been very underutilized throughout this season here in 2025. I have a real feeling, and we'll see if this comes to fruition. Um, I have a real feeling that Pat Freiermuth is going to be a very, very dangerous weapon inside of the AFC Conference playoffs. I think he is a weapon that the Steelers have been slowly just little spurts releasing here and there that when playoff time comes, I think the Steelers are going to have a package with that tight end group that's going to be a little bit different than what we've been seeing from them. I like Connor Hayward's addition right now. I know it's not what you want to see, like catching the football and run after all that great shit as a tight end, but he has been coming in and playing good on special teams and in those special type plays. I think he has handled the football really, really well when they run that tush push bullshit. But he's taken advantage of it. He's been able to hand the ball off correctly. That's not just something you do, guys. You have to understand how I turn, the footwork, pivot, how to hand the football off. You just don't come out and be able to do all that shit. It takes a little bit of practice. And I like that the Steelers are a little bit versatile out of that. We've seen the big one from Kenny Gainwell in Chicago running out of that. We've seen now last evening the way that they were able to move the football out of that formation in a way that wasn't the tush push. So I got to applaud the Steelers for being different in some of those situations, man. And especially, I like the way they've been aggressive on fourth down. It's really a refreshing thing. And they've been aggressive, but not yet stupid with it. And I really applaud Mike Tomlin for that as of late. Devin Burkett, I thought DK was just moving the guy's hair out of his face to see him better, or was pointing up at the rafters, letting him know they have 0 Super Bowls and the Steelers have 6. That's what I thought I saw. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know the truth. We'll ever know the truth until we actually get to see maybe some footage that was recorded up close and personal. FDK trade him another thug. That's from Challenger. He made a bonehead move, man. I can't argue that. And it was a super bonehead move, no doubt about it. And he deserves a flag on the play, no doubt about it. And then I dropped my flag. Let me get my flag. Robert Road, they called a pass interference on Mount Washington that wiped out a TD yesterday. Yeah, and then Mount Washington fumbled the fucking football too. You know, that sucked. But yes, you're right. And I think what your comment was from is when we were talking about those penalties and the offensive pass interference that was called on Amon St. Brown. The rules are the rules, and it happens to the Steelers. It happened to the Steelers, like Robert points out, in that same game. So yeah, it definitely went both ways. And if you're the Detroit Lions and you're Amon St. Brown, and you know that they called that penalty earlier on the Steelers, you know damn well not to do it because that officiating crew is looking for that. You know that's going to happen. And that's called being situationally aware. That's called understanding everything that's going on inside of the football game and being locked in and knowing what's going on, guys. I try to tell youth players all the time, don't be jacking around on the sideline talking shit to your buddy. Pay attention to everything that's going on inside of that football game because of things just like that. Understanding, like, I can't get out there and get my arms extended. If I want to cause a little bit of disruption, I'm going to have to get out and get close to this guy and do what I'm supposed to as a wide receiver. And what is that, guys? How do wide receivers disrupt DBs without getting that push off call? You got to run up on their toes. That's how I teach kids how to run routes. What do you do to DBs? You run up on their feet. You run right up on them. That's how you got to do that. Get up on their feet. Cause them to have a misstep. That's how you get that separation. That's how you cause that push off without pushing off. And that's exactly what you got to do. And a guy at a pro level should understand that. And maybe it's a little tougher for a guy like Darnell Washington because he's so big and he doesn't have that type of speed. But there's no excuse for a guy like Amon St. Brown to go and push off. Why? Because they're so damn fast that they can run up on a DB's feet and cause that disruption and cause that push off without pushing off. And that is something that has to be recognized. Justin Meneke says, do you think the Steelers will win their 4th straight game in Cleveland this weekend? I got to say, I'm not betting that they do. I think that the Steelers are due for a loss. I've been thinking that for a while. But the way I've seen the Browns play, the suspension of DK Metcalf, and just Mike Tomlin's track record in the last month of the season, I would say that there could be a real big potential for a stumble against a bad team in Cleveland. But then I look at it this way too, Justin. The Steelers play the division really, really well. They have a really, really good divisional record. Probably one of the better, or if not the best divisional record out of anybody inside of the AFC North since 2020. Just a really, really good football team against the division. And when we talk about Mike Tomlin and his coaching, and we want to congratulate Mike Tomlin, he did get 200. He did reach win number 200. So that's a very big milestone. So we want to congratulate head coach Mike Tomlin on that. Again, guys, you give the flowers where the flowers are due. You can talk shit, you can point out deficiencies, but when somebody does something that is warranted to speak about, you speak about it. And definitely 200 wins is a major milestone inside of a National Football League, considering the way coaches don't spend a ton of time as the head coach of anything. So we got to give Mike Tomlin credit there, and what a big, big milestone, reaching 200 wins. And again, he has one Super Bowl, two Super Bowl appearances as the Steelers head man. And I think it is due for the Pittsburgh Steelers to make a run at a Lombardi trophy. That is something that I think can change a lot of minds about Mike Tomlin, is to make that run this year and kind of make people forget the last decade plus of not having any playoff wins, of being ultra average. And I think that's how you got to erase this, man. Go on a year or two run with Aaron Rodgers at the twilight of his career and try to make a run at a Lombardi trophy or two and really get this thing clicking. And I think that the Steelers definitely need that, and Mike Tomlin definitely needs that, and Steeler Nation, I know, needs that in a big, big way. But Mike Tomlin can right a lot of wrongs here by keeping this football team on track right now in this moment. He can fix a lot of shit that and a lot of definite negative things that have been said about him. Dar and Beeve 9843. You let an opposing fan plant his team's banner inside your head. Another selfish fool who prioritizes his negative emotions over his team's welfare. I agree, 1000%. Great comment, Darren. Great comment, man. I really like that one. Good comment. What's up, Za Curry in the house? Let's fucking go. Absolutely. Good to see you, Za. Win Dog 55-1, 551. Warren and Gainwell are the keys. Well, yeah, but the real key is what, guys? That offensive line continuing to hold up, and they faced one hell of a pass rusher yesterday in Aiden Hutchinson, guys. I had to bring that up, and I forgot to do it yesterday during the post-game show, but a lot was going on during that post-game show. But Aiden Hutchinson, guys, is a fucking monster. And I thought the Steelers did the best they could at controlling that. Aaron Rodgers sacked 2 times yesterday. But a guy like Dylan Cook that has zero experience, Troy Fautanu, young guy, basically playing his rookie season this year because of how much time he missed last year. Um, Man, I got to give them props. I think overall their performance was really, really solid. And they had a 143-yard rusher in Jalen Warren, not to mention another 50 chipped in by Kenneth Gainwell. Guys, that is a 200-yard rushing day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's check that out one more time. You add this up, guys, over 200 yards rushing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, 9 yards. Jonnu Smith chipping in with 28 yards yesterday. So that's 36. 36 on top of the 193. So you look at that and you're saying to yourself, well over 200 yards on what? 18, 19, 20, 27 carries, guys. So 27 carries for well over 200 yards. That's a very good rushing day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think that's where we're missing a lot in terms of what Steeler fans are looking at. Combine all that yardage. That's a 200 and some yard rushing day against the Detroit Lions with Aiden Hutchinson, a team that definitely is a good football team, and they were able to go for over 200 on the ground. Not to mention Aaron Rodgers also having what, guys? Over 260 yards passing. That's a very good day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A very, very good day. So you got to look at that and say to yourself, damn, that's a lot of offense, isn't it? 266 yards from Aaron Rodgers. We'll say what? We had 193 for Jalen and Kenneth Gainwell. You had another 30, 6 yards with the other guys. So, that's what's that, 12, 2. So they had 200 and roughly, we'll say 230 yards rushing. So we'll say 230 plus the 266. So they had 496 yards of total offense yesterday, if not a couple more than that. I'm just going and rounding it up. So maybe we'll just say between 490 and 500 yards of total offense yesterday for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a damn good day for the Pittsburgh Steelers if you're talking about offensive production, not to mention scoring 29 points yesterday. And what do I always tell you? The formula for the Pittsburgh Steelers to win here in 2025 is to get 24 to 25 points every game. They have to average that point total, and they could be a very, very successful football team, considering the way the defense can step up at times because they don't have to play perfect, guys. The time of possession was another one that was very, very important. We'll come back to Jester Prods here in his comment. Um, but you talk about the Steelers and time of possession so far through the 2025 season, and it hasn't been a good story that has been written there. But right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game yesterday had drives that lasted 10 minutes, did the things that were necessary in order to keep that defense on the sideline. And that created a lot of opportunity for the Steelers defense to pin their ears back, be fresh, to do some things that we haven't been able to see them do in quite some time, to be honest. So yeah, I'm happy to see that time of possession definitely increase for the Steelers. You could see it and the impact that it had on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and it's definitely something they got to continue. Yeah, those splash plays, those quick drives where you just hammer something, but you got to get points from them, right? Those are great. But every so often throughout a football game, you need a 7 or 8 minute drive, a 9 minute drive. You need those things in order to control football games. And the Steelers recognize that. Aaron Rodgers recognizes that. And I think yesterday, again, throwing to 9 different receivers, incorporating the run like they did, playing defense like they did, but they understood how to stretch that game and play the game within the game. And Mike Tomlin has had major time management issues throughout his career. Clock management has not been his forte. But yesterday, I saw that clock management play out pretty well. They got the plays that were needed. They extended the drives when they had to extend that time of possession. I thought it was really, really good. Like, share, and subscribe if you're not already. Hit that hype button for us here on Steel City Live. Gesture Prod says Kenneth Gainwell is a very underrated running back, and the duo of KG and Warren is a very good running back room. And with Caleb Johnson developing, the running back room looks good for years to come. We hope, man. Definitely, we hope. Yeah, Gainwell's pretty good, man. I don't know if he's the best receiver on the team. DK Metcalf's pretty good, man. But Kenny G's pretty good, too. If no one can stop Josh Allen, doesn't matter. I think a lot of people would stop Josh Allen this year. I don't think that that's something you can say. Nobody can stop Josh Allen. They've lost a lot of ball games, so evidently people have stopped Josh Allen. And has Josh Allen ever won anything? No. He's in that same category as Lamar Jackson. We're in the playoffs, but we ain't ever do shit with it. And until he's won something, you can't sit there and say he's the puppet master of the playoffs. You can't say that. You just can't. I could say more about CJ Stroud right now. I would say this. If I were to pick the Bills or the Texans right now on which team I'm more excited about watching, I would pick the Texans. I think that is the most exciting football team in terms of potential moving into the AFC conference playoffs out of any team inside of the AFC. So I'm not sitting here. If I'm a team, there ain't no team in the NFL right now in terms of the AFC conference that I would be fearful to go play. There is no team as a fan, I would say, that can't win. It's impossible. It would be shocking if they won. There is no team that strikes that fear. No quarterback either. Yeah, Josh Allen playing well. He's definitely a damn good quarterback. Definitely. Trevor Lawrence playing really well right now. Bo Nix playing well. Yeah, there's lots of players playing well. But can they do it when the lights are the brightest, guys? You ain't seen none of them do it. The only one to really do it, I'll come back to Devin. How much does Gainwell make per season? I don't know. I think he's got himself paid though this year, Devin, definitely. But let's talk about experience inside of these AFC conference playoffs right now, guys. Let's go with the 1 through 5 right now. Name a quarterback on a team that has made it past an AFC conference or an NFC conference title game in this group right here out of the 5. Name one. There is only one, correct? Bo Nix. No, young player. Hasn't done it yet. We can't write him off because, yes, the potential's there, but hasn't done it yet. So, unproven. Drake May for the New England Patriots. Hasn't done it yet, guys. Just a year ago, people were talking about Drake May sucks. Uh, you know what I mean? I'm just saying how quickly things change, right? But yet, unproven. The Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, he's been in the league for a while. He's gotten paid, but what has he done? He's not won an AFC conference title. He's not made it to a Super Bowl. So, no experience there. Let's take the Chargers. Justin Herbert. He's gotten paid, right? But yet, he's unproven also. He's never won a conference title. He's never even played in a conference championship. He's not done anything either. The only quarterback in this whole top 5 right here that has done anything is who? Aaron fucking Rodgers, right? Right or wrong? All right, let's move into the 6, 7, 8, and 9, the teams that are still potentially in the playoffs. Josh Allen, he's gotten paid. Not done shit in terms of the playoffs, in terms of winning a conference title, in terms of winning a Super Bowl. Hasn't done shit. CJ Stroud hasn't done shit yet. Potential's there, but hasn't done it yet. Has not done those things. The Colts, Phillip Rivers, hasn't done shit. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, he's gotten paid, hasn't done shit. Guys, there is only one proven quarterback inside of the whole conference playoffs for the AFC bracket right now, as it sits, and potentially pretty much how it's going to be with the teams that are potentially going to be able to make it are right there. Those 9 teams, and there's one quarterback that has been there, done that, has the fucking t-shirt, and that is Aaron motherfucking Rodgers. The discount double check, baby. Let's go for big Aaron Rodgers. All right, guys, I'm going to move around here. If your comments missed, put it back in. Light it back up in the chat. I'm going to go down to the bottom here because I missed one. Actually, I missed a super chat from our friend, Za Curry. He is in the house. Thank you, Za. Super chat coming in from our friend Za Curry. Bang, bang, Stiller. Gang. Let A-Rod spread that ball. Discount double fucking check. Let's go. Amen. Thank you, Za. Sorry, I did not see that. It did not alert me like it normally does. So you get an extra air horn and an extra round of applause. Thank you, Za, from Grim Medusa. Always a great supporter of our show. Thank you for that super chat, Za. And again, guys, I'm going to go down here to the bottom and catch up. There's almost 100 comments already. Let's light that up. So if I missed your comment, throw it back in there, and I will get to it. But I can't live back in the chat because we keep going over the same things. So I'm going to stay down here at the bottom and try to get some fresh stuff here in before we wrap this episode of Steel City Live up. An amazing show so far. Again, thank you for that super chat, Za. Thank you for everybody that has donated over the last month or two, year or two, whatever we've been doing this. We appreciate you guys so much. And again, we are almost to that 5,000 subscriber mark, guys. We are almost there. So I need you to share all that good stuff. What's up, Roberta Campbell? Good to see you. Super Dave 2409. When it comes to the playoffs, experience, we have the upper hand with the quarterback. And I believe him and the receivers are clicking at the right time. Absolutely. It does matter, Super Dave. And nobody wants to admit that. And yes, at any time, one of these young guys can figure it out and they can make a run. But until that time, the only guy that got the hardware, that's got the experience, that understands how to deal with the adversity when it matters, is Aaron Rodgers. And who should know better about Aaron Rodgers' playoff experience and his Super Bowl experience than us, Steeler fans? Who better should know that than us right now? Tom Ford comes in and says, Jason, I believe the only reason Aaron Rodgers won that Super Bowl against the Steelers is because the higher-ups wanted him to have a ring. Maybe. And I blame it on Rashard Mendenhall, Tom. That fumble fucking killed the Steelers, man. Robert Rhodes says, Josh Allen, 7-6 in the postseason. Yeah, how many conference titles does he have, Robert? That's my question. How many Super Bowls does he have? How many AFC conference titles does he have? What's the answer there, guys? Bow, 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 bow. 0. So, yeah, I admire 7-6 in the postseason. I admire it. But, man, it just doesn't do it for me because there's no hardware there. There's no hardware there, man, at all. Challenger says Tomlin got his goal, another non-losing season. Yeah, seems that way, doesn't it? They're 9-6 right now, so yeah, 9 wins get you there, man. Yeah, impossible to have a losing season at this point. Joseph Donovan, 91-25. He says that's how teams make it closer than what it is. They play too conservative when they're up. Keep your foot on their necks. Absolutely, man. Curb stomp somebody, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you got to handle it. Super Dave also comes in and says, losing DK is a hurdle, but with our personnel, we can handle it till he gets back. One player doesn't make a team. Absolutely. And I think that's, again, something that the Steelers have learned this season throughout all the trials and tribulations of the injuries and things of that nature, that you got to make do. And depth on this football team for the Pittsburgh Steelers has been tested and tested in a big, big way. And I think that is something that's special about the Steelers right now heading into the playoffs. They have had a lot of adversity. They have had their depth tested at key positions in a big, big way. They have had their depth tested all across the board. They've had to make key personnel decisions mid to late season and decisions that were going to really, really have a major impact on this football team. I think schematically, finally, they're starting to loosen up and get in a little bit of a consistent nature. And that's something that I'm definitely happy to see, man. Roberta Campbell says the only other one playing right now, other than Rodgers, is not going to the postseason, and that is Mahomes. Yeah, he's not going to be in there, man. ACL tear for Patrick Mahomes. I think Gardner Minshew also, man. It's been a disaster over there in the Chiefs world. And guys, I got to say this, man. Even the best teams, the best dynasties have down years, and the Chiefs are in one of those right now. You look at the Steelers of the '70s. Won a couple, then had a down year, had a little bit of a little bit of turbulent water, wasn't able to get back to the big game. But then, they rebound eventually and they get back to a couple more Super Bowls. And, every great dynasty doesn't just do it bang, 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 bang. So, yeah, definitely a down year for the Chiefs, but don't count them out forever because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick fucking Mahomes. Super Dave, in your opinion, what's the scariest team in the NFC? Rams, Seahawks, or Bears? It's going to be the Rams for me because I think Sean McVay has been there, done that, has the T-shirt type guy. Super Bowl champion, played in the biggest stages. And I think schematically, he is second to none in terms of offensive schematics. And I definitely think I would be more fearful to play the Rams than anybody, especially when Sean McVay has 2 weeks to prepare. I think that is definitely the scariest situation for me in terms of the NFC conference. If I'm going to pick a team right now in the AFC, that scares me the most. It's the young Houston Texans with that Houston Texans defense. I think that they can really do some major damage. I think they can win anywhere, and I think that's the hottest team for me in terms of the scariest team to play inside of the AFC. I think any other team I wouldn't be as worried about. But the Texans, they pose a great challenge. They have a great young quarterback. They have a great defense. They're a good football team and definitely can win anywhere they go. Hold on. Let me get to Roberta's, then I'm going to go to Challenger. Roberta says, I just meant other than Rodgers, who has been to the mountaintop. Nobody in the AFC, Roberta. That's it. Challenger says, 9-5 was a down year for the Steelers in 1977, still won the division. Yeah, different era, no doubt about it. But they weren't able to get back to that Super Bowl, and that's what I'm talking about. Down times where you don't make it back to the mountaintop. Look, mountaintop. Look how many title games, AFC conference title games, and how many Super Bowls the Chiefs have been involved in over the last, handful of years, 6, 7 years, whatever. It's been absolutely amazing what they've been able to do in terms of their ability to be consistent. Robert Road, and we're going to get out of here. This is going to be our last comment of the night. Thank you guys for everything. Let me double check that I didn't miss anything else in terms of super chats, and then we'll get back to Robert's comment here at the end. I think we did good there. Josh has won a game in the postseason every year. The Bills made the playoffs. Only Burrow reached a Super Bowl besides Mahomes and Brady from the AFC in the past 9 years. Yeah, still not an excuse for me, Robert. Um, Still hasn't won anything. Neither has Lamar. And, to get paid $50 million a year, I would want to see maybe an AFC title game win. I would want to see something, I love Josh Allen. I think he's a really good quarterback, but he hasn't shown me that he can get it done yet. Yeah, he's won playoff games, but you got to win big playoff games. When is just winning playoffs games good enough? Um, I don't know. The only player that I've ever thought was one of the greatest of all time to not win a Super Bowl, and that was Danny Marino. So yeah, and he even played in one, didn't he? So yeah, but yeah, it bugs me that those guys haven't won anything and they're crowned, and I just feel like you got to get it done somehow before you get crowned. Joe Burrow's made it to the Super Bowl, so he's won a big game. So yeah, we definitely know that he can do it. Um, but man, Josh got to win something before I can put him at the top. So Lamar too. Super Dave, out of here. Chat with you next time and hope see you, man. Merry Christmas, Super Dave. Merry Christmas, man. Thank you. Craig Werlow says Steelers traded one goofball for another. Another one, damn. Yeah. Bonehead move, man. Bonehead fucking move by DK Metcalf. Roberta Campbell, good to see you, Craig. That's what I meant. Mahomes is better than the rest of the AFC quarterbacks, and Rodgers is better too. Robert Road. Josh was the higher rated quarterback in those losses to Mahomes. 3, 4 touchdown games, but their defense let them down. Yeah, I mean, you got to win them. I agree. I know he's a good quarterback. I agree he's a good quarterback, but just never won one. Never could get there. So, it is a team game. So we got to be mindful, like you point out. No doubt about that. But definitely until he reaches that mountaintop, in my personal book, I don't put him at the top. I just don't. I put him at the top of the regular season quarterbacks. I think he's really, really good. He's one of the best. Um, Lamar Jackson, good regular season quarterback, But when I'm talking when the chips are down, um, you know, I haven't got you there. So that's just my thought process. I just think I'm blinded a little bit because I gauge everything off of championships. I gauge everything off of rings, man. I gauge everything off of AFC conference or NFC conference championship games. Those two games is what I gauge everything off of when I'm talking um, success. When I'm talking about the greats, the best. That's what I gauge everything off of. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. But I was always taught that you play the game to win a championship, and there is no other reason to play other than to win those. That's just I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Yeah, Lamar has shit the bed, but yet Josh has been good, but great is winning an AFC conference title. Great is winning a Super Bowl. That's great to me personally. But I see exactly what you're saying, and I agree with you, no doubt. I'd love if Josh Allen came to me too. I would love it too. I would love it too. Would I take Joe Burrow, Steeler Nation 4128? Yeah, in about a New York second, bro. Any great quarterback. I would take Josh Allen. I'd take Joe Burrow. I'd even take Lamar Jackson. I'd take any of them. They're good in the regular season. They're good for that. And maybe the Steelers will get them over the hump to where they could win a Super Bowl. Maybe coming to the Steelers organization does that for them. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe a change of scenery does that. Maybe it puts them over the plateau. I don't know. I'd take any of those guys. Challenger football is a team game. A lot of great quarterbacks haven't won Super Bowls. Fouts, Marino, Tarkenton, Jim Kelly. Yeah, a lot of them. No, you're right. That's why, to me, again, guys, I may be wrong with the way I gauge everything. That's how I gauge the greatest of the game. The greatest of the game. I gauge off of wins in the Super Bowl. That's why Tom Brady's the greatest to ever do it at the quarterback position for me. Why? He got the most rings. Um, and that's the only reason that you play the game is to win it and hoist a Lombardi. Um, so he's the greatest, in my opinion. Tom Brady's the greatest. Patrick Mahomes ranks up there. Terry Bradshaw ranks up there. Joe Montana. Those guys that have a bunch of rings on their hands. That's what matters to me. When I'm making my top list of greatest quarterbacks of all time, it includes those names. The Tom Brady's, the Joe Montanas, um, the Terry Bradshaws. Those guys are the greatest. And then the guys that have won a couple, the Big Ben Roethlisbergers. Those guys, they start to come on the list a little bit farther down. But when I'm talking the greatest, the four greatest quarterbacks probably to me are Brady, Montana, Bradshaw. And who else can we throw in there? Probably Mahomes. How many's he got? Three, four, something like that. Three. So that's probably the top list. Those guys got the most. Um, those guys got to be the tops. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I love your comments. I love your conversation. You guys are great, man. 7-3, that is good. 10 Super Bowls, that's the greatest of all time to me, Robert. That's what I say. Are you the BJ Plavy I know? If you are, what's up, man? Aaron has the most experience in the postseason. I'll take that any day. Pittsburgh is trending up, sleeper team. I hope, man. I hope, BJ. Are you the BJ Plavy that I know from Uniontown? If so, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. And Merry Christmas to you and your family. Daniel Warman, Cleveland starts the year with a goal of the first round. Okay, BJ, good to see you, man. Cleveland starts the year with a goal of the first round pick. Yeah, they're good at getting it, ain't they? Thanks, JD. Merry Christmas, man. We'll be back on, guys. Definitely, thank you, JD. Appreciate you, guys. Um, what's the other comment? Michael 7088. He may prove he is not needed. I didn't see your other comments, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Sorry, man. Sorry, Michael. I didn't see what other comment you're talking about. But anyway, we'll be back on later in the week, guys. Again, I'm doing a lot of stuff, transition into a new job here. I got like two actually that I'm transitioning to right now. So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on with that, but um, I'll be good for the evenings. My kid only has basketball tomorrow, so we won't be on tomorrow. We will be back Wednesday. And then I believe it's Wednesday, Christmas Eve. If Wednesday's Christmas Eve, maybe we'll do a show. We'll see if I have time, depending on what we're doing family wise and things of that nature. Um, my family kind of stinks. Nobody ever comes. So we'll see. My immediate family, my kids and my wife. So we'll depend on what we do. But we'll see what happens there if I do a show or not, and maybe some people will want to do one. We'll see. But we'll be definitely back. We do have wrestling practice Friday. So we'll come on about 8:15 on Friday. And then the weekend we'll be ready to roll, man. We have no wrestling tournaments that we're going to this weekend. Since it's Christmas, we're not going to do the one that's this weekend. And it's my kid's first year and it don't have a novice division, so we're not going to go to this one this weekend. But we'll have one the weekend following. So we'll see what happens, man, and we'll see when the Baltimore game gets put out there for time and everything like that. But until next time, guys, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports and Steel City Live. Peace.
Power takes an approach as a coach.
Let's go. Let's go. It's a field back block, and that's